It's a tighter halftone. If I zoom out here on this Aussie, that one looks a little tighter, doesn't it? This is the RGB one. This is the grayscale one. Not too much difference, but this is no good for you. That will look like insanity. So you definitely, I'm going to go ahead and close that out, not save it. You definitely want to turn it grayscale first. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and save it again. All right. And I'm going to jump over to my untitled image, and using my shape builder tool, I'm going to make an oval that's that, if I look at this one, let's do a hot pink one. Now, you'll notice that these guys are all grayscale. The pink color is not showing through their face. So we should be okay. So I'm going to go to my shape builder, make a CMYK pink, maybe. Let's see if it'll let me pick a different swatch. Alright, well, we'll try that. And then I'm going to make my shape. And it's that nice hot pink. Then I can go here and go to this view. And let's soften that up a little. There we go. Now I'm going to take my Aussie picture. Okay, I'm going to go to select all because I want everything including the empty background. Copy it. Jump over to my poster. Paste it. Okay. Now by holding the shift key, because I don't want to squish him, I want to hold him, So now I've got this nice picture of Ozzy in his little bubble. I'll double click it to make it permanent. Okay. Maybe the rectangular edges aren't so good, but what's great is we still have that nice eraser tool. And you'll notice in my layer palette over here, I have a shape, the ellipse, I have the background, which is white, and then I have layer 1, which is Aussie. And I'm going to take my eraser and come over here to the Aussie layer, and let's make that eraser bigger. There we go. And all I did was, to the right of the letter P on your keyboard, you may remember brush size changes from Illustrator, but the left bracket makes your brush smaller, the right bracket makes your brush bigger. Alright, so I can go through and just kind of, we'll get some, that might be a little too chunky. I don't really like that. That looks kind of poopy. Let's see what I've got here in Brushland. Oh, let's try a soft brush maybe. No spacing. Just make it solid. I think that's why I was getting that jerky dut, 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 dut. So I'm going to make my brush bigger again. We'll do a soft one. Might be a little too soft. It's kind of fun. Kind of typical of Aussie. Yeah, we might keep that. Alright, so I erased what I didn't want. We'll make Aussie bigger. Okay, so there is Mr. Osborne in his halftone pattern now. However, he's in a halftone pattern, but the color of this shape here isn't. And if it was all silk screened, well, that would need to be done too. So what do you do with that? Well, since this is going to be color, I can go ahead, I'm going to make a copy of it in case I screw up. So I'm going to duplicate that shape layer. ellipse 1 copy. And it copied it directly on top of its brother, which is totally fine with me. And let's see here. How would I do this? Well, let's see what happens if we just do... Actually, let me turn that off. And let's see what happens if I just do a halftone pattern on the ellipse. Filter, pixelate, color halftone. Oh, this shape layer must be rasterized, so it has to be converted to either a pixelated image or a smart object. I'll keep it as a smart object because I may want to change the scale. If I rasterize it, then it's no longer a shape layer. I won't have any points to mess with if I ever wanted to mess with it with the pen tool. So I'll convert it to a smart object. Okay. Alright, let's zoom out. That might be a little too choppy. So Command Z. Filter, pixelate, color halftone, convert to a smart object, and let's knock this back from an 8 to a 4. I think 4 is the lowest color it'll go. Alright, let's zoom out. That looks a little better. It's not so, you don't really notice it till you get about there. And that looks pretty good, pretty silkscreeny. Now, let's talk about if we look at another example of a concert poster. If we look at, let's say, let me find one. Here we go. This one with Dinah Washington and Eddie Vincent. You'll notice how their silkscreen photographs, the whites and the light grays of their face are now transparent, and the yellow of the paper is showing through. Same here. Chuck Berry. The blacks are showing through as blacks, but the whites and lighter colors is the color of the ink below it. Same with here. So how do you get that effect? Okay, so to get that effect, you have to take one more step, because you'll notice here, I can't see the pink through Ozzy's face. But if I wanted to, okay, so let's jump back over to Ozzy. If I wanted to be able to see the color through this, say you wanted Ozzy on the yellow background, you have to do one more step. And that step is, I want you to zoom in. And you see all this white space between these black dots? That's actually the color white. And that's got to go. Now, don't worry. You do not have to go through and magic wand and pick every single chunk of white from this. Okay? We know it's a floating layer because we can see the checkerboard. There's nothing behind it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to select color range. And I'm going to zoom in on this image. Real tight. And I'm going to click the white. Now, it says fuzziness. How picky do you want it? Well, the more picky, look, more and more is being revealed. Alright, and I hit OK. And you can see it has selected all that white. And all I have to do is hit delete. Now it looks a little different now because we can see the checkerboard through him. I'm going to save this one again as a different image. File, save as. And oh, don't show me this again, you lunatic. Save on my computer. Ozzy halftone, and I'm going to put clear. letting me know that I've erased the white and only the black dots remain. Save. So that's a different file now. Now if I go over to my poster, and let's say I make a yellow rectangle. Get my shape tool, and I'll pick my color, fill. Oh, what do I want? Yes, I will have yellow, please, just to start out with. And I'll do like that. Come on, give me a color. There we go. Now, I'm going to go to Aussie Halftone Clear, select all. That way I get the whole picture. Copy it. Jump back over to poster and paste it. And I'm going to bring it down, and you'll notice that now the yellow color, let me get this guy, I'll make it bigger. Whoop, not that big. I want to just go this way, sir. Thank you. And a little bit this way. Thank you. And let's come in here. What are you doing? Oh, it's some new setting in Photoshop. It makes my butt hurt. Where is the setting? Is it this one? Oh no, that's not it. Window. Options. By cubic. By linear. No. Where's my scaling? Ah! Chain link. Nonsense. I no longer need that. There we go. So now I can make this to where the color is now see-through, or the halftone is now see-through to the color behind it. By deleting all that white, it only left the black dots. Okay? So two different types of halftone pattern. Okay? You can have a halftone that's been cleared out and only the black dots remain. Or if we look at this halftone that has not been cleared out, the white is still there. So you don't see the pink through it. Okay, so that's how to get that halftone look. Now, you'll notice again, if we go back to this original, they use some design elements. Like on Fats Domino, he has that star behind his head. This is all going to come down to layering. Okay? Just like in this piece, if you look at my layer palette over here, I'm going to pull it out over here. Let's make it big. And let's see if I can increase the size so you can see the close, minimize. No. Interface options. Oh. No. I want to be able to see these larger. Large thumbnail. That's what I need. It's just for you guys. Kind effect. No. Oh, screw it. Anyway, okay, so you can see here. The background is the white piece of paper. The smart filter, which is on this ellipse, because the ellipse, remember, I had to turn it into a smart object, which is a vector object in Photoshop space. It has now what they call a smart filter on it in color halftone. Then rectangle, which is this yellow box I made. Layer 2, okay, which is Aussie that's see-through. Layer 1 is Aussie that still has gray and white in him. And then that copy of that ellipse that I never ended up using. Okay? So let's say I wanted to put, much like that Fats Domino thing, a star behind Aussie. Let's see. Custom shape tool. Let's see what we got here. Shapes. Now, again, if you don't have this bar up here, I want you to go to Window. You have the application frame, DOI, otherwise you wouldn't see anything. That's got the red, yellow, and green light on it. You have the options. That's this bar up here. And then the tools. So if you don't see this bar up here, and I'm jumping up here to it, that's where you find it. Okay, so what kind of shapes do I want? Well, I want to find a star. No. Ah, you have to click it. Ha ha ha. So you choose the polygon tool, not the custom shape tool, and then click once and say, I want a star. And I have this pathetic little puny butt star. But there it is nonetheless. I can click on it and it says polygon 1. And now by double clicking on that little tiny icon there, I could change its color. Let's say we want the color to be, we'll make it kind of a milky off-white gray. And we'll give it a stroke. How will we give it a stroke? Well, I'm going to show you another trick. In your layers palette, and in your layers, out here in no man's land that looks like nothing, and there would be no way of knowing this if anyone didn't tell you, you could double click and you get a whole new menu for layer styles. Now, you can also, if I cancel this, go to layer and where's it at? Layer style right there. Okay, that gives you the same menu. However, it's easier for me to just go over here and double click and say, okay, I want a stroke, because stroke, unlike in Illustrator, doesn't come natural with Photoshop.